Change your heart, change your life, change the planet.
Hey everybody, it's Tim Van Orden with another 50 Under 15 update. I wanted to let you know where I'm at with my training right now in the midst of injury. And I had a rather interesting experience this morning, which is rather informative of my process, especially in challenging times like being injured. So I thought I would share it with you. My goal this morning when I woke up was to get out on the elliptigo as soon as possible. And for those of you that don't know what an elliptigo is, I'll put a link in the description. And I'm also going to come up with a video shortly showing you what it looks like to actually be out there and how I use it. And a big thanks again to Dave Dunham for letting me borrow his elliptigo. Thanks, Dave. Anyway, it was cold when I woke up. It was in the low 40s, and I wasn't super motivated to do my whole layering routine to get out in the cold. And I'm not going to say that stopped me, but it definitely slowed me down. It made the experience a little bit more like moving through molasses. And that's fine, but there is a little bit of emotional weight added when the temperature drops. No big deal. I can handle it. Just took a little bit more time, went through my dressing procedure, got out the door, got to the studio to get the elliptigo. This is where I keep it because the roads where I live have no shoulder and they're a little too dangerous. So I want to use it in town where it's a bit safer. So I come in, grab the elliptigo, and I notice that my helmet and glasses are not with it. And I thought, okay, well, it's probably in the car, because I often leave them in the car so I can use my helmet on my mountain bike when I'm biking at home. So I thought, oh, no big deal. I just put it back in the car when I was done last time. So I load the elliptigo in the elevator, and it's a very slow elevator because it's an old mill and I'm on the top floor. So take the long ride down, get the elliptigo out, open up the car, no helmet. And I'm thinking, okay, was it in the studio and I just didn't see it? I better go check. I can't leave the elliptigo in the parking lot, so I have to bring it back up into the elevator, which is quite an ordeal because it's really long and the elevator isn't that big. So I kind of have to maneuver it at a funky angle to get it in, take the long ride up into the studio, look everywhere, no helmet, not here. What the heck? I must have left it on my mountain bike at home. Probably hung it from the handlebar and forgot to put it in the car. Crap. Now what do I do? So I was about to bail on the workout because I don't have a helmet. I can't do it, right? And it's cold and I don't really want to do it anyway, and it's early. And there were all these excuses and reasons starting to get emotional momentum. They were starting to thicken that molasses that was in the way of me taking steps. I had tried, I did my job, and I guess I failed. I should probably just go home and maybe I'll try again this afternoon. So I thought, you know what? It's a really big parking lot here at the mill, and there's a loop that goes around the whole building, and it's a quarter-mile loop to go around the building. Maybe I'll do a loop around the building, just one. Right, just so I can say that I did it, just so I can check that off and build the habit of getting up early and getting out on the elliptigo. Even if it's only a quarter mile, I succeeded. I won. I got out early and I did it. Load it on the elevator, get down, start going around the building, and there's construction behind the mill and the loop road is closed. So now I'm thinking, oh crap, I can't even do this. Like everywhere I'm being defeated. And is this a real big challenge in the grand scheme of things, like compared to problems that other people are having in the world right now? No, it isn't. But my primitive brain doesn't know that. All right, the emotional brain, it doesn't know that. Cognitive brain, not a big deal. Emotional brain, dude, it's the end of the world. And we can only move at the speed of our slowest mover, and that's our emotional brain. Just like a child, you can't run your fastest if you want to keep up with your 2-year-old child or have them keep up with you. You've got to run at their pace if you want them to come along for the ride. And since I can't chop out chunks of my brain, I have to move at the speed of my emotional centers. I get back to the car and I'm thinking, is that it? Like a 1/10 of a mile? Am I done? And then I thought, you know what? Half a block away is a residential street that there's no reason to drive on whatsoever unless you live there, and it goes to the firehouse, which has a big parking lot. Maybe I'll just go back and forth on that street. It's probably 100 meters long. I'll just go back and forth a few times. Maybe I'll get a mile total. So I cross the main street here, which is rather dangerous, get to that street, cruising along. I'm feeling pretty good. I loop into the firehouse parking lot, cruising around, do a couple back and forths. And as I'm coming back towards the firehouse, I thought, you know what? On the other side of the firehouse is another big public parking lot. Maybe I'll do a few loops around that. So I cross that street, do a few loops there. And then I'm thinking, right across the street from here is a big shopping center parking lot. Maybe I'll do a few loops around that. And I did that. And then I thought, half a block away is another parking lot downtown that goes around some of the utility buildings. So I'll go there. And I just kept weaving my way around town in these areas where there wasn't going to be any traffic. And before you know it, I had meandered out to a residential neighborhood where there's almost no traffic at all. No reason to be out there. A lot of dead-end streets that go up these long hills and then just stop. So I thought, maybe I'll just go up to the end of each of these dead-end hills and turn around and then do the next one. And I'm going really, really slowly because I don't have a helmet on. So I'm not killing myself with pace. Any downhill, I'm using the brakes to really slow myself down so that if I do fall, I'm not going to get hurt badly. If a car's coming up on me, I'm being really extra cautious. The probability of me falling and hitting my head, tiny, 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 but still, I don't want to take a risk that I don't need to. So I'm just being really gentle, getting my workout primarily going up hills and pushing hard on the flats, but still at a pace that's not excessive, and then just slowing down on the downhills. So I just wandered around on these streets and found streets that I didn't even know existed. I was born in Bennington and lived here, of my 49 years, probably 36. And I found streets that I did not know existed because I was just wandering around, checking out all these dead ends. And I found out that they don't dead end right away, that they branch, and there's these other streets that come off of them. So it became this fun exploration and really gentle workout where I was still getting an aerobic benefit, but at the same time, I wasn't stressed. I wasn't trying to hit a certain speed. I was just out there, and I was moving, and I was being mindful, and I was being cautious, and I was being gentle, and I was enjoying the morning. And I ended up going 6.5 miles and found my way back to the studio without using any major streets, just being really creative as I mapped my route through town, finding the least trafficked route. And it was a lot of fun. And it's a workout that almost didn't happen, but it's a workout that's now going to stick in my memory because there were surprising results. Not only did I enjoy it more because I was being a bit more gentle, but the fact that I discovered places in town, a town I've lived in for 35, 36 years, places that I've never seen, that's exciting to me because it shows me that there's so much more in the world, even the world right here, that I don't know about because I've never looked before. The point of this video is that when we think we're stopped, when we think we're beaten, just take a little step, go half a block, do one loop around the building, or do half a loop around the building, and then half a block somewhere else, and just bite off little tiny bits. Don't commit to a massive thing. Don't throw your hat over a fence that you can't climb over. Just little commitments, little explorations, little iterations, kind of like the evolutionary process. And you never know what the end result is going to be. But I guarantee you this, what you do find is going to be stable, sustainable, and enjoyable because you were present in each step of the process. Because when you came to the right or left fork, you chose the one that moved you rather than the one that was planned out in advance. This was a really neat experience for me, and I hope there's some value in me relating it to you. And I'll keep you posted on what I'm doing in training and just what I'm thinking about in life and where I'm going in general. but I'm excited to continue on this journey towards 50 under 15 and see where it takes me without a plan, because I'm much more excited about seeing what it reveals to me rather than what I can top down create and imagine, because the world is so much bigger than my imagination. All right, see ya.